afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Long Pond, Pennsylvania for the Pocono 175. Called the Tricky Triangle by some, the Bermuda Triangle by others. Three-cornered Pocono Raceway is utterly unique. Situated in the Pocono Mountains of northeastern Pennsylvania, the 2.5-mile tri-oval features three very different turns, connected by straightaways of varying lengths. Turn 1 banked at 14 degrees. Turn 2, the tunnel turn, banked at 8 degrees. Turn 3 at 6 degrees. Pocono's main straightaway is the longest on any North American speedway at 3,740 feet. The Long Pond straightaway stretches for 3,055 feet between turns 1 and 2, while the run from turn 2 to 3 is a mere 1,780 feet. Now that you got the dimensions, the resulting speedway poses special demands on drivers and engineer alike. For a chassis that works well on the steeply banked turn 1 will be less than ideal for the flatter turn number 2, let alone turn number 3. And the downforce necessary for maximum grip in any of the turns will slow a car on the two long straightaways. And turn 3 requires heavy braking, in some cases even a gear change, making Pocono Raceway among the world's most challenging speedways. Pocono has hosted NASCAR Cup Series races as well as the Truck Series, ARCA, even the Modifieds ran here. But today, it's the SCAR NASCAR Cup Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good afternoon once again, everyone. Welcome to Pocono Raceway. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV alongside Eric Dotson. How are you, Eric?
Doing good, Steve. How about you?
Doing well. Excited to get things underway here at Pocono. Practice is just about set here. We've got maybe 3-4 minutes left before we can call it a session and get into qualifying.
Yeah, it was exciting watching these guys practice, so I can only imagine what the race is going to bring to us.
Yeah, it's kind of an unknown. This is it's a big track like you'd expect with, like Daytona or Talladega, but doesn't really have the high banking, so you don't carry the momentum. They don't run, I want to say restrictor plates, but they don't run that tapered spacer at this track, so they have full power. But as we talked about in the open, the balance has to be a certain way. The downforce has to be a certain way to accommodate all three corners. Very unique, like we talked about. Got to have that balancing act. I know years ago in the previous, maybe the Gen 5 Cup car, these guys are running 215 mile an hour corner entry speeds into turn number 1. It was absolutely insane. I think we're down to 181 into turn number 1 now. Still hauling the mail, but nowhere near what they were years ago.
Yeah, this track created a lot of great races in the years. I mean, I remember Jeremy Mayfield and Earnhardt had some good races here, and with these new packages, everybody gonna be bunched up. We could see something like that here tonight.
Yeah, Mayfield laying the bumper to the old 3 car in through turn number 3 to take the win that afternoon. I was jumping up and down through the tunnel turn and throwing the remote off of turn number 3. So yeah, that was thanks for bringing that one up.
Yeah, I was the same way. I always liked Mayfield till that moment.
Right. I know it's a move we would have expected to see out of the 3 as well. So looking back on it, I can't blame Jeremy for doing it. It's last lap, last turn for a win. Paid off, and he didn't wreck him.
No, he got the win, but gosh, I was always rooting for the 3.
Still been out of shape for it.
Yeah, still got me tongue-tied.
Well, looking at our tower here, the scoring pylon, Justin Napier, the 54 machine, he is fastest so far. Again, Eric talked about this is like a Daytona Talladega type track. Drafting does come into play. They have done some mock runs as far as getting together in a pack. But Justin Napier, so far, the fastest on track, 53.52. Cole Dansley just a hair slower, less than a tenth off that pace. David Bradford, 3rd. Cody Harger, 4th. And HBR's Brian Rose, 5th. Brian Rose coming off a victory from last week.
Yeah, I talked to Brian about that victory and coming here, and he said at a lot of these tracks we've seen tire wear become a big factor, which was a great factor in him winning last week. But he said the tire wear really doesn't drop off too much here. He said maybe in the longer runs, but in the short runs, they're not seeing a big drop off.
Well, see, that's the thing I'm interested to see is how much tire wear are we going to see, mainly because are we going to get a long enough run for it to matter? You know, with this draft, the way that it is down these straightaways, if we get everybody, it stays packed up. I don't really expect to see long green flag runs. Of course, I could be made a fool, and it could be a complete opposite, and these guys get spread out for, you know, the entire stage. We'll see. Again, the first stage is going to end at lap 20, second stage lap 40, and then we go to lap 70 to finish off the race. Practice is in the books here. See who rolls out first. Looks like it's going to be Will Hewitt, the number 33 machine. Will rolling out of the pit lane. Oh, there he is. Will Hewitt out of Gloversville, New York. A little bit of snow up there last few days, as well as for myself here in Western New York. You get some snow down by you there, Eric?
We've got snow the last 2 weeks now, so it's been pretty hectic.
Lord.
A lot of insurance claims, which I don't like, but it is what it is.
Will Hewitt off turn number 3. Again, no turn 4 at this racetrack. It's a triangle, big tri-oval. So turn 3 is the home corner, or the corner to get you onto the home straight across the finish line. Still plenty of real estate out here. Expect to see these guys 4, maybe even 5 wide on restarts.
I know Will was disappointed in the race last week and everything this week to try to make up for that.
Takes a while to get around the Pocono Raceway here. Almost a full minute. 54 seconds is a quick time around here. First lap for Will Hewitt, a 54.169. That's second quick so far. Top of the board is Vince Short, the 15, with a 53.95. A great qualifying lap for the 15. That is his first lap. Let's see if he can pick up the pace here on his second lap. Vincent Short right now top of the board. Bobby Hamilton Jr. a tenth and a half off of that time on his first lap. See Cole Ansley locking in third place. Will Hewitt back to fourth. Brian Rose sits fifth. Now into Freeze and Bradford and Jones. That rounds out the 8 cars that have made laps so far.
But, you know, if they're comparing this kind of like Talladega and Daytona with this package, it's no surprise to see Vince up near the front. He's always a strong qualifier at those 2 tracks.
Vincent Short crosses the line. Lap number 2, not faster. 54 flat for the 15 machine. Cody Harger's out there. His first lap of 53.955. Not able to knock Short off the pole, but Bobby Hamilton Jr. does a 53.94 for the 16 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. That was his second lap. Right now, the 16 sitting on the pole, but not for long. David Bradford now takes the top spot of 53.89 for the 46 machine. Cody Harger through the tunnel turn, looking down the straight into turn number 3. This is his second lap of 2. Lap 2 for Cody Harger, 53.93. Did pick it up a little bit. Sits on the outside front row, half a tenth off of the time for David Bradford. You see Carson Conway has made it out to the track. Had some mechanical issues with the steering early on. Oh, he puts the 72 machine in the fence. That was, I think that was his first lap. So tough break for Carson Conway. Justin Napier out there, the number 54 Hateful Chicken Machine.
Yeah, I know Carson's having some issues with the power to his wheels, so hopefully he can get that straightened out.
Yeah, nothing more frustrating than mechanical failures with your equipment right before a race or even in qualifying. It's very frustrating. I've dealt with it myself. It's no fun. Justin Napier off turn 3, down the main straightaway, crosses the line. First lap of 54. First lap didn't check in. Second lap of 54.092. That's good enough for 6th for Justin Napier.
Yes, Jeff is my dad in his status there. Steve's best friend.
You like that?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we're jumping right into the gridding process. So let's take a look at our starting grid for the Pocono 175. On the pole, it is the number 46 machine of David Bradford with a time of 53.890 seconds. Cody Harger, the number 66 to his outside, less than half a tenth a second off of the pole. He'll start second. Row number 2, it's Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 16 with Bobby Hamilton Racing. Half a tenth off pole, still starts third. Vincent Short, though, to his outside. And the number 15 will start fourth. Row number 3, it's the 33 of Will Hewitt with Outcast Racing. To his outside with TCB Motorsports, it's Justin Napier. Row number 4, Colt Ansley in the 86 with Outcast Racing. To his outside, it's the 5 of Mark Cruxell for HLC Motorsports. Starting 9th, Brian Rose with Holler Boys Racing and that Track Bar Media number 89 Chevrolet. To his outside, it's Thomas McMullen in the 02. Alan DeFries will start 11th, also with HLC Motorsports, the number 71 machine. To his outside, it's Will Jones, Bad Company Racing, the number 56. And the overlays aren't moving. Let's try that again. 13th is Jesse Bobo in the number 7. Neil Quick in the number 2 will start 14th. Neil did not take a time in the practice or in the qualifying. 15th, Jeff Napier, also no time. Carson Conway, 16th, no time, as he did crash on corner exit during qualifying and exited the session. He will start shotgun on the field in the 16th spot.
And it looks like Brian Rose will be getting the EOL for the win last week.
That is correct. Brian gets an EOL at the start. David Bradford, though, just speaking of his win penalty, he's been very successful this season. He is down 2 sets of tires for today and the balance of the season. And he also goes to the back with an EOL at the beginning of stage number 2. So to finish out the race, he's got to come from the back if he wants to win here at Pocono.
David Bradford's supporting a new paint scheme. Looks like, what is that, Crown Peach?
That is the Crown Peach for sure.
That's a good looking car, different.
Field working off turn number 3. Pace car about to peel off. It does. Cross the nose of the 46. Green flag is waving. Field coming to life down the front straightaway. Not a great start for the 46. David Bradford getting a push from the 16 of Hamilton Jr. We are green into turn number 1.
Junior all over.
David Bradford leads the field into turn number 1. Off turn 1, Cody Harger is slipped from the outside front row back to 4th. Will Hewitt up to 3rd. Now they approach the tunnel turn. Field working off turn number 3 for the first time, crossing the line under green. David Bradford will lead lap 1. Bobby Hamilton Jr. second. Cody Harger's back to the 3rd spot. In behind him, Vincent Short, Colt Ansley. That's your top 5.
Goes Bobby.
Just
David
like that.
Yeah, David didn't put up a 5 there. It looked like he knew he was outnumbered and just let it happen.
You know, kind of feel like this is going to be a feeling out period for the 46 machine. He knows he's got to start at the back of the pack here in the final stage. Might as well take the opportunity if he's going to run through traffic, see how that car handles in a pack with cars in front and behind. He's going to have to do that later on anyway. Best to know what that car is going to feel like through that process.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's being too aggressive to get back in line, so I think you're exactly right.
Out front, Bobby Hamilton Jr., the number 16, the Hateful Chicken Machine. A little bit different paint scheme on that Ford Mustang here this afternoon. A little more yellow than we're used to seeing. Looking sharp out front. Bobby almost putting some distance on second place Cody Harger, who's gotten around Colt Ansley for the 3rd spot. For the 2nd spot.
Every time I see Bobby's car, it reminds me of that yellow and white Corvette that Dale Sr. ran in one of the endurance races.
Not a whole lot of white on that yellow Corvette, but I know what you're saying. Cody Harger taking a look to the inside through turn 1. Nothing doing there.
Here comes Colt to the inside of Cody.
Field working off turn number 3, about to put lap 5 on the board. Hamilton Jr., Harger, Ansley, Short, and Bradford still your top 5. Colt Ansley looking a little racy behind the 66, trying to make a move, had a run. Puts it to the outside of Cody Harger into turn number 1. Nothing doing there. Almost had 66 of Harger try to take the spot away from Bobby Hamilton Jr. through turn number 1. Again, nothing there either for him. The 16 leads off 1.
Yeah, I thought Cody was going to get into the back of him, but he done a great job there not.
Right on board with Cody Harger. Works off turn number 3, right at the back bumper, the 16 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Completing lap number 5.
Cody picks up a lot of ground coming down the straight stretch in that draft.
Really does, but unfortunately you got to be able to do something with it at the end of that straightaway. You can't just dive it in there. Almost seems like you do need some drafting help to make it work.
I think he's going to lay back and try to get a run here.
Might be right to the back bumper of the 16. Takes a look to the inside in 1, nothing doing.
David Bradford back up to 4th place.
David found his groove. Kind of got in the middle of the pack there, felt out the car for a little bit. Now he's working his way back towards the front. Back inside the top 5. Vincent Short runs 5th. Under pressure by Justin Napier, the 54, the other Hateful Chicken entry. He's got Will Jones to his back bumper, taking a look inside.
I'd say you was exactly right about David Bradford. He dropped back to see how his car would do in traffic, and now he's coming back and going to try to get some stage points, maybe even a stage win.
Cody Harger's taken over the top spot. Colt Ansley to 2nd. Bobby Jr. back to now 4th as David Bradford puts the pressure on, trying to go by on the inside. A little bit of help from the 15 of Vincent Short. Justin Napier now in the mix, trying to take a look to the outside of the 16 of Bobby Jr. Nothing doing there. Will Jones back in the mix as well. Things getting dicey here a little bit near mid-pack. Bit of a push from the 71 to the Vincent Short machine down the front straightaway. Alan DeFries pushing that track bar media number 15 down into turn number 1. Ooh, a little contact made in the middle of the corner. Didn't recognize Neil Quick. He's got a different paint on that number 2 machine here this afternoon. Looks like he forgot to load up the one he usually runs here in the SCAR series.
Yeah, I noticed that in practice. I didn't know if he was just giving iRacing a shout out.
Well, I'm just going to reload the textures here real quick just to be safe, because maybe he didn't load properly. Everybody's white car now. Oh, except for Bobby. Bobby's got some color. Vincent Short's back. Nope. That's the paint scheme that Neil's got on the car right now, so that's what he's rolling with. Taking a look to the inside, though. Vincent Short to the outside. Neil Quick down low for position. Neil Quick around Vincent Short. Moved the number 2 up to the 7th spot. Doesn't quite have Vince clear yet. See Cody Harger dropping back to the outside. And Justin Napier involved in a wreck on the back straightaway.
Caution.
Was going 3 wide as Cody Harger got to the outside, was falling back, didn't really have the room. Contact made with the 54 of Justin Napier. Oh, he's going to struggle getting back to the pit. Smoke coming out of the back of that number 54 Hateful Chicken machine. Let's go back and take a look at the instant replay. This is off turn 1. Just ran out of real estate, it looks like, at least from the tower cam. Can't tell from there. Can't tell from there.
I think he just got into the 56 of Will Jones, and it's kind of sent him up the racetrack.
Yeah, 56 of Jones does come up ever so slightly. It does send the 54 into Cody, and around the 54 goes. Hard impact, the inside safer barrier for Justin Napier. Riding on board now with 54 machine. You see the 56 of Will Jones down low. Justin following the 16 of Hamilton Jr. This is off turn 1.
It looked like Justin may have just came down on him.
I think it was a combination of the two. I think the contact that was about to be made between the 56 and the 54 kind of would have been incidental, kind of a racing deal, but it does send Justin into the 66, and unfortunately, he gets the worst end of it. Does make it in and out of the pits, though. Probably uses up that fast repair as that smoke is no longer present. Ooh, some drivers thinking about pit stops. A little bit of a fake going on there. Colt Ansley, though, brings the field down. Colt Ansley, Bobby Jr., Cody Harger for sure. David Bradford and Will Jones stay out.
little bit of strategy going on here.
Could be.
I mean, we seen it produce a winner last week.
Melinda, I love listening to you two. And the way he says yellow, love it. I don't know if he's talking about you or me. Because to her, I have an accent. To me, y'all have an accent.
I think you got a word. I think you got a word accent.
Right. Who do you want operating on your brain? Someone that sounds like me or someone that sounds like, well, what we gonna do is...
Yeah.
With that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after a word from the Hateful Chicken. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Long Pond, Pennsylvania, the Pocono 175. We are under our first caution for the 54 of Justin Napier, collecting a couple of cars off turn number 2. Justin gets the worst end of it. For those of you just joining us, let's go back once more and take a look at the instant replay. 54 machine down low. Contact with the 56. And the 66, around goes Justin Napier into the inside safer barrier. Justin has since used a fast repair. They do have one fast repair for the length of the entire race. So he has to run the rest of the event without it. So gonna have to mind his P's and Q's and keep the fenders on it all the way to the finish, because he does not have a backup plan after this.
So we'll be coming to lap 14. So what is it, about a 6-lap shootout for the stage?
Yeah, stage ends at lap 20.
You think we're going to see more aggressiveness?
Yeah.
I do too.
Especially coming to the stage, these guys need these points, especially the ones that aren't really where they want to be as far as the point standings are concerned. But here we go. Pace cars in, coming to lap 14. Green is in the air. Field coming to life. A little bit of a stack up, spinning the tires in front of the field. Bumper cars on the restart, but nobody's backwards, so that's a good sign. Field working into turn number 1. David Bradford, Vincent Short, Cole Ansley, Jones, and Quick, your top 5. And Bradford and Jones stayed out. That last caution, albeit likely because they're down 2 sets of tires. They don't have an extra set to play with, so they're going to wait it out. David Bradford, though, up front. Vince Short second. Vince did pit, took 4 tires on his pit stop, so he's going to have a little bit extra grip compared to the 46, but a little wiggle from the 15. Bradford gets away in through the tunnel turn. Off turn 3, Bradford with the advantage, about 0.4 of a second. Chris Goins watching again. Thanks for joining us, Chris, on the Facebook side.
Neil Quick under Vincent Short for second here.
Close quarters into turn 1. Neil Quick takes the spot away. Like we said, Eric, it's getting late in the stage. It's time to go. Real quick up to the second spot. Vince trying to repass, though, into the tunnel turn. Vincent Short, the 15, down low. Gets the spot back. Crossover move by the 2 off of turn number 2. Neil Quick's going to try and take it away in the third turn. Oh, close quarters here. Don't overdrive it, boys. Just keep the fenders on it. They work off turn number 3. They're free and clear down the front stretch. We have a drag race.
These two are going at it.
Cole Dansley's going to make it 3 wide down the front stretch into turn number 1. Who's going to give up? Nope, not this time. Vincent Short gets the advantage over the 2. Colt tucks in behind the 15 and move Neil Quick back to the 4th spot.
Oh, here comes Colt for second.
Trying to take the spot away from Vincent Short. Neil Quick's tucked in behind the 86. Now no drafting help for the 15 of Short. They work into the tunnel turn. Neil Quick and the 15 continue to battle. This is into turn number 3. Wasn't sure if there was contact made there between those 2 cars. They still battle for the 3rd spot. The nice thing is these guys are able to battle and the leaders don't get away. But it is letting the 16 of Bobby Jr. catch the 2 of Neil Quick. A bit of a push. Some tandem draft down the front straightaway here at Pocono, while 86 of Colt Ansley goes for the lead into turn number 1. To the inside goes the number 86 machine. Rick Motek on the side, puts it out front. Colt Ansley, new leader, lap 17.
We got these boys fired up here, don't we?
No, we called it, man. Late in the stage, aggressiveness level was going to go up, and it certainly has. I think the only one who's going to play it conservative here is the 46. He didn't put up too much of a fight on Colt Ansley going for the lead, and I think Neil Quick's going to try and take this 2nd spot away from David as well. He's not going to give it to him, but I don't think he's going to risk a lot to keep it either. Vincent Short right on the back bumper of Neil Quick as they work through turn number 3. 15 slides up the track. Neil Quick stays low. Another drag race. You got Bobby Jr. there in behind Vincent Short. Now the draft coming into play big time. Big run by the 16. He's going to go a couple of spots towards the front. David Bradford goes out to block, and he gets the draft push. Pushes the 46 back to the top spot into turn number 1.
Wow.
Yeah, this is only stage 1, guys. Hold on to your butts.
Yeah, this has been amazing.
Here we go into the tunnel turn. Colt Ansley looking to the inside of David Bradford. Wants that spot. He's got the position off the corner, but not clear. David Bradford battling back on the outside. Bobby Hamilton Jr., who's he going to go with? 3 wide for the lead into turn number 3. It's Vincent Short taking over the top spot. Unbelievable move by the 15 of Vincent Short, taking over the lead as we come to lap 19. 2 to go to end stage 1. David Bradford now, teammate to Vince Short, taking a look to the inside into turn 1. He wants the lead back. Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the low lane, in behind as well, trying to get underneath the 15. Nothing doing there. Off the corner they go. Down the back straightaway, a little bit of contact between the 15 and 16. They got away with it, barely a rub, but no problem. Slows the momentum of the 16 of Bobby Jr. He's back to 5th.
Bobby's been fighting hard to try to work towards the front, taking it 3 wide when necessary and everything. He's wanting his stage.
You got to take advantage of the runs when you get them. Otherwise, it's just not going to work out. You got to go. A little bit of damage I see there on the nose of the 66 as we continue to work through turn number 3. Vincent Short now taking advantage, trying to get back underneath the 46. They cross the line. Too close to call. Not sure who led the lap. It might have been David Bradford still, but real close between himself and the 15 machine of Vincent Short. Thomas McMullen now has found himself up in the mix, running in the 2nd spot. He's gone by Vincent Short. Cody Harger back up in the top 5. He's running 4th, and now Bobby Jr. sits in the 5th spot. Last lap of the stage, Thomas McMullen, the new leader, but he's got the 46 and David Bradford side by side into turn number 2. Through the tunnel turn they go one more time. 7 released as they work through the short chute into turn number 3. Thomas McMullen, your leader. Cody Harger second as he battles with David Bradford. David drives it in deep to turn number 3. Side by side again. Vincent Short right on the back bumper of David Bradford off turn number 3. Looks like Thomas McMullen's going to have it for sure. The 46 of David Bradford at the line. Looks like he got the second spot for stage number 1. Wow. That was like the last lap of the race. We still got 2 more stages to go.
If there's anything like this, I can't wait.
I'm never out of breath in the stage 1. This is crazy.
That was, everybody was jogging for position there. I mean, that was just crazy. I feel like, everybody was kind of just laying back, and when they would get such a good run, they'd have to make a move.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like you got to take the run when you get it. You don't always know when it's coming, but if you get that run, it's moving right along. You can't just crack the throttle and back off. You got to go, because if you crack the throttle and everybody else behind you doesn't, you saw it with Bobby Jr. when he made contact with Vincent Short. He dropped back 3-4 spots almost right away because everybody else kept their foot in it.
Yeah, that's some of the most aggressive driving I've seen out of Bobby Jr. early in a race like that.
Bobby's trying to get those points, man. He talked about it in an interview about New Hampshire years ago. He's just trying to completely destroy the field. That's what he's trying to do here. Get all the points, get all the wins, do everything you can just to put everybody else in the rear view mirror.
Yeah, it just seemed like every time he got a good run, he got blocked or got held up or something happened, but he was trying his hardest right there.
Thomas McMullen, the winner of stage number 1. Curious to see who takes the opportunity to pit this time. Again, stage 2 will end at lap 40. So 38 laps from now. We'll probably get a couple more laps under yellow. So maybe a 35-lap run to stage 2. Some of these guys pit during that first caution, just about 6-8 laps shy of the end of stage 1. Going to be some varying strategies here this time around. Pits are open, I believe.
Looks like Thomas is going to pit. Cody. Looks like all the top guys are going to pit. Thomas has got a little bit of a gap here, too, between him and Cody, so maybe he can use that to his advantage to come out number 1 as well.
Yeah, if he gets in and out of the box clean, good stop into his pit stall. Right side's going on. Crew around to the left side. Thomas is down and away.
I seen somebody out in front of him. Somebody may have just took 2 tires.
Looks like Bobby Hamilton Jr. stayed on the track. Neil Quick was out first. Only a 6.5 second stop, so that might have been fuel only for the number 2 machine. I don't recall when he pit previously, but he may be saving a set of tires. Bobby Hamilton Jr. now back out in the lead after that cycle of pit stops. Again, he pit lap 11. Here we are at lap 23. Tires probably doing okay. He can probably nurse that machine to the second stage without a problem. Everybody else here besides Will Jones and David Bradford have 5 sets of tires. But with that, let's take a short break and a word from the Hateful Chicken. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Long Pond, Pennsylvania, the Pocono 175. Lap 24, stage 2 about to get underway here. Pit stops are all said and done. Thomas McMullen, the O2 machine, winner of stage number 1. He's going to restart, looks like in the 4th position. Bobby Hamilton Jr. stayed out on the racetrack. Pit lap 11 for the number 16, so a little bit older tires for that Ford Mustang. His outside's Neil Quick. Don't believe he took tires, fuel only for the number 2. Vincent Short, Thomas McMullen, Carson Conway, the next 3 cars in line, all with 4 fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles. Lights are off atop the pace car. We're going to go green this time by.
Well, if this thing stays green for the